The assignment. The rain drummed steadily against the windows of Morgan Security Solutions, creating a rhythmic backdrop to Alex Morgan's contemplation of the unusual contract before them. The document's terms were explicit yet somehow vague, outlining a 3-month protection detail for an executive from Nova Corp, one of the world's leading quantum computing companies. Alex ran a hand through their dark hair, studying the contract's peculiarities for the 100th time. The client required 24/7 protection but insisted on minimal staff contact. All security feeds would be monitored exclusively by Alex's personal systems, with no external backups. The payment offered was astronomical, enough to fund their entire operation for 5 years. "You're thinking too hard again," came a voice from the doorway. Maya Rodriguez, Alex's head of operations, leaned against the frame, her expression a mixture of concern and curiosity. "The contract's solid. I've run every verification possible." "It's not the contract that bothers me," Alex replied, standing to stretch. The Seattle skyline stretched out beyond the window, its usual gleam muted by the persistent rain. "It's the client. Have you ever heard of someone named E.K. Winter at Nova Corp?" Maya shook her head. "Not a whisper, and I've got contacts throughout their organization. It's like they appeared out of nowhere 3 months ago." Alex's security firm had built its reputation on protecting high-profile clients who valued discretion, but something about this case felt different. The client's insistence on meeting only at night, the elaborate privacy requirements, and the way they seemed to have materialized within Nova Corp's executive structure, it all pointed to something beyond normal corporate secrecy. "What's your gut telling you?" Maya asked, knowing Alex's instincts had saved their lives more than once during their shared military service. "That we're missing something obvious," Alex replied, picking up a tablet displaying Winter's schedule. "Look at this, no daytime meetings, all video conferences conducted with minimal lighting, and their office is specifically modified to filter certain light wavelengths. Who needs that kind of setup? Someone with extreme photosensitivity?" Maya suggested, but her tone indicated she didn't believe it either. "Or someone hiding something more fundamental." Alex swiped through the building schematics they'd been provided. The client's private elevator doesn't match the building's original plans. The whole floor has been modified with materials I can't even identify. The sound of an incoming message interrupted their discussion. The client had arrived early for the initial meeting. Alex checked their security setup one final time, the prototype quantum encryption system, the advanced bioscanners, the electromagnetic field monitors. Everything was in place, yet the feeling of unease persisted. "Time to meet our mysterious client," Alex said, straightening their jacket. "Keep the backup team on standby, but remember, no direct observation." The private conference room on the 47th floor had been prepared to the client's exact specifications. The lighting was dim, with a curious bluish tint that made everything look slightly otherworldly. As Alex entered, a figure stood by the window, their back turned, wearing what appeared to be an expensive suit that somehow seemed to absorb the light around it. "Mr. Morgan," the figure spoke, their voice carrying an accent Alex couldn't quite place. "Thank you for accommodating my unusual requirements." When E.K. Winter turned around, Alex's trained eye immediately caught several discrepancies. The client's movements were too fluid, too precise. Their skin had an unusual sheen under the modified lighting, and their eyes, there was something about their eyes that sent a shiver down Alex's spine. "We pride ourselves on adapting to our clients' needs," Alex replied carefully, maintaining a professional demeanor despite the growing certainty that they were dealing with something far beyond their usual scope. "Indeed. Your reputation for discretion is why I chose your firm." Winter smiled, but the expression didn't quite match human muscular patterns. "I have enemies, Mr. Morgan. Enemies who would go to extraordinary lengths to, shall we say, disrupt my work at Nova Corp. May I ask about the nature of these threats?" "You may ask," Winter replied, that strange smile returning, "but I suspect you'll learn far more than you anticipated in the coming weeks. The question is, Mr. Morgan, how will you handle the truth when you discover it? As Alex left the meeting an hour later, their mind raced with possibilities. The client's mannerisms, the modified environment, the impossible requirements, everything pointed to a conclusion that seemed straight out of science fiction. Yet Alex had learned long ago that in their line of work, the impossible often turned out to be merely improbable. Maya was waiting in the security center, her expression expectant. Well? Run a deep scan on all recent astronomical anomalies, Alex said, pulling up their secure terminal. Particularly any unexplained atmospheric disturbances from 3 months ago. I think we've just been hired by someone who isn't from around here, and I don't mean another country. Strange patterns. The Nova Corp research facility sprawled across the outskirts of Seattle like a gleaming web of glass and steel, its quantum computing labs humming with activity even at midnight. Alex stood in Winter's private office, watching security feeds while trying to make sense of the patterns emerging over the past week of surveillance. The anomalies had started small, electromagnetic fluctuations that shouldn't exist, temperature variations that defied physics, and security cameras that occasionally captured impossible images. But tonight was different. Tonight, Alex had witnessed something that couldn't be explained away by technical glitches. Maya, are you seeing this? Alex spoke quietly into their comm unit, eyes fixed on the quantum lab's readings. The energy signatures were off the charts, pulsing in patterns that matched no known terrestrial technology. If you mean the fact that your client is apparently manipulating quantum states with their bare hands, then yes, Maya replied, her voice tense. Alex, what exactly are we involved in here? The security feeds showed Winter working alone in the lab, their hands moving through holographic displays with impossible precision. But it was what the specialized sensors revealed that sent chills down Alex's spine. Winter's body was emanating energy signatures that matched recent deep space signals. A soft chime announced an incoming message. The lab's private elevator was ascending. Alex quickly checked the authorization logs. No one should have access at this hour except Winter themselves. Yet the elevator continued its silent climb. Security breach in progress, Alex announced, already moving toward the lab. Maya, initiate Protocol Omega. Lock down all external communications and prepare for facility isolation. The elevator doors opened just as Alex reached the lab level. 3 figures emerged, their movements carrying the same unnatural fluidity as Winter's. They wore what appeared to be standard corporate attire, but Alex's enhanced vision revealed subtle distortions around their forms, as if reality itself couldn't quite process their presence. Mr. Morgan, one of them spoke, their voice carrying that same unplaceable accent as Winter's. We advise you to step aside. This is beyond your jurisdiction. Alex's hand moved to their concealed weapon, a prototype sonic disruptor developed specifically for their more unusual contracts. My jurisdiction extends to protecting my client. I suggest you return to the elevator. The leader of the group smiled, an expression that seemed studied rather than natural. You don't understand what you're protecting. E.K. Winter represents a threat to far more than your simple corporate interests. Before Alex could respond, the air itself seemed to ripple. The intruders' forms blurred, their human appearance giving way to something else, something that made Alex's eyes hurt to look at directly. The temperature in the corridor dropped dramatically, frost forming on the walls. Last warning, Alex said, activating their suit's defensive systems. The quantum-enhanced armor hummed to life, responding to the environmental changes. Leave, or I'll be forced to demonstrate why humanity shouldn't be underestimated. The response came not in words but in action. The intruders moved with impossible speed, their forms shifting between states of matter. Alex's combat training kicked in, enhanced by years of experience in cutting-edge technology. The sonic disruptor fired, its frequencies calibrated to the strange energy signatures they detected from Winter. The effect was immediate and devastating. The intruders' forms destabilized, their carefully maintained human appearances shattering like glass. Behind Alex, the lab doors burst open, and Winter emerged, their own disguise falling away to reveal something both beautiful and terrifying. "You've done well, Mr. Morgan," Winter said, their voice now carrying harmonics that made the air vibrate. "But I'm afraid this situation has become more complicated than I anticipated." Alex stood their ground, weapon ready, mind racing to process the impossible scene unfolding before them. "I'd say finding out my client is an alien dignitary hiding from assassins qualifies as complicated." Winter's true form emanated patterns of light that matched the quantum readings they'd been tracking. "Not assassins, Mr. Morgan. Regulators. I am what you might call a revolutionary, and these," they gestured to the destabilized intruders, "are those who would maintain the status quo." The corridor had become a battlefield of impossible physics, quantum states colliding with human ingenuity. Alex's armor continued adapting, its systems learning and evolving in response to the alien energies surging around them. In that moment, they realized that their role had evolved far beyond simple security. "Maya," Alex called through the comm, "initiate deep archive protocols. Everything we're seeing needs to be documented. Humanity just got pulled into something much bigger than corporate security." Winter moved to stand beside Alex, their true form casting ethereal light across the corridor. "The question remains, Mr. Morgan, now that you know the truth, whose side will you choose? The regulators who would keep humanity isolated from galactic society, or those of us who believe your species deserves a chance to join the cosmic community?" The intruders were recovering, their forms reassembling into something more stable. Alex checked their weapons charge, knowing the next few moments would change not just their life, but potentially the course of human history. "I choose the side that gives humanity a fair chance," Alex replied, adjusting their stance. "But first, we need to survive the next 5 minutes." The investigation. The secure bunker beneath Morgan Security Solutions had never been used for its intended purpose until now. Designed as a last resort shelter, it had become an impromptu command center for what might be humanity's first interstellar diplomatic crisis. Alex stood before a wall of holographic displays, each showing different aspects of the puzzle they'd stumbled into. "Walk me through it again," Maya said, her fingers dancing across multiple keyboards as she coordinated with their global network of contacts. The events at Nova Corp had triggered a cascade of revelations, each more extraordinary than the last. "Winter isn't just any alien revolutionary," Alex explained, pulling up the quantum analysis of the previous night's confrontation. "They're part of something called the Stellar Confluence, think of it as a galactic UN. But there's a divide in their ranks about emerging civilizations like Earth." The bunker's screens displayed a pattern of astronomical anomalies spanning the past decade. Strange signals, unexplained phenomena, and technological leaps that suddenly made more sense. Humanity hadn't been progressing alone, they'd had hidden guidance. These energy signatures matched technological advances in quantum computing, clean energy, and medical research, Maya noted, highlighting specific correlations. "Winter's faction has been quietly nudging our development. While the regulators want to keep us isolated," Alex finished, remembering the cold certainty in the intruders' voices. "They believe we're not ready for galactic society." A priority alert flashed across their screens. Nova Corp's quantum labs were showing massive energy spikes, similar to the patterns they'd recorded during the confrontation. But this time, the scale was exponentially larger. "They're making their move," Alex said, quickly activating their upgraded combat suit. The alien technology they'd encountered had provided valuable data, allowing them to enhance their defensive systems. "Winter warned me this might happen." Maya's fingers flew across the keyboards, bringing up satellite imagery. Multiple atmospheric disturbances appearing globally. "Whatever's coming, it's big." Alex checked their modified weapons, now calibrated to affect quantum state beings. "Winter's been preparing humanity for this moment. The quantum technology, the energy research, it wasn't just about advancing our civilization. They were giving us tools to defend ourselves." Against what? Maya asked, though her expression suggested she already knew the answer. Against forced isolation, Alex replied, watching as more anomalies appeared on their screens. The regulators don't just want to keep us in the dark, they want to ensure we never develop the capability to join galactic society. The bunker's communications system crackled to life, Winter's distinctive harmonics filling the room. Mr. Morgan, I hope you're prepared for what comes next. The regulators have escalated beyond my worst predictions. We're tracking multiple incursions, Alex confirmed, studying the tactical displays. But something doesn't add up. Why now? Why show their hand so dramatically? Because of you, Winter replied, their voice carrying both pride and concern. Your adaptation to our technology, your ability to counter their quantum forms, you've proven what my faction has argued for centuries. Humanity isn't just ready for contact, you're essential to the galaxy's future. Maya pulled up new data, her eyes widening. Alex, you need to see this. The quantum disruptions aren't just affecting Nova Corp. They're targeting every major research facility globally. They're trying to erase our progress. Alex's mind raced through the implications. The past week had shown them wonders and terrors beyond human imagination, but it had also revealed something crucial about their own species. Humanity's greatest strength wasn't their technology or their weapons, it was their adaptability. Winter, Alex called, checking their equipment one final time, I need everything you've got on regulator tactics. If they're trying to force humanity back into the cosmic dark ages, they're about to learn why that's a bad idea. You're planning something, Winter observed, their tone curious. Something that defies conventional strategic logic. Humanity's specialty, Alex replied with a grim smile. Maya, initiate Protocol Prometheus. Contact every enhanced security team we've trained. It's time to show the galaxy why underestimating humans is a critical mistake. The bunker's screens lit up with acknowledgments as private security forces worldwide began responding. Each team had encountered strange phenomena over the past year, each had adapted and evolved their tactics. Unknown to the regulators, humanity had been preparing for this moment through 1,000 small encounters. They think they're dealing with an isolated, primitive species, Alex said, watching as their global network activated. Let's show them how primitive species survive extinction events. Winter's response carried a new tone, something like all. You've created a defensive network using private security forces. Without any government involvement. Governments would have made it official, Maya explained, coordinating the incoming responses. Official means visible. We kept it in the shadows, where we could adapt and evolve without scrutiny. Alex checked the final preparations, knowing the next few hours would determine humanity's cosmic future. Winter, I need you to answer one question honestly. Did you choose our firm because you knew we'd discover the truth, or because you knew how we'd react when we did? The answer came as global quantum disturbances reached their peak. Mr. Morgan, I chose your firm because humanity's greatest strength isn't just adaptation, it's recognizing when to fight and when to change the rules of engagement entirely. Now, shall we show the regulators why evolution favors the creative? Revelations. The night sky above Seattle rippled with quantum distortions as Alex coordinated humanity's first organized resistance against an alien incursion. From their mobile command center, they watched as private security teams worldwide engaged the regulators using adapted technology and tactics that no one had expected humans to develop so quickly. Status report, Alex commanded, their enhanced suit interfacing directly with the quantum-encrypted communications network they'd established. The heads-up display showed dozens of engagement points across the globe, each telling the same story: humanity was holding its own. London team reports successful containment, Maya reported, her voice tight with concentration. Tokyo just neutralized a quantum surge using the modified resonance technology. Mumbai's adapted our sonic disruption techniques to create quantum containment fields. Winter materialized beside them, their true form shifting between states of matter like liquid starlight. Your species continues to surpass all expectations. The regulators never anticipated this level of coordination. That's because they made a crucial mistake, Alex replied, watching as another regulator incursion was contained by adapted human technology. They judged us by their standards. By what they thought was possible. The tactical display shifted, showing a new threat emerging. The regulators were changing strategies, combining their quantum manifestations into something larger, more powerful. The sky above Nova Corp began to darken with impossible energies. They're attempting to create a quantum suppression field, Winter explained, their form flickering with concern. If they succeed, they'll effectively reset human technological development by decades. Alex smiled, an expression that would have worried anyone who knew them well. Exactly as we predicted. Maya, initiate Protocol Pandora. Across the globe, hidden quantum receivers activated. Each security team had been equipped with devices that appeared to be simple defensive technology. But together, networked through Alex's encrypted system, they formed something far more ambitious. You've created a quantum web, Winter realized, their voice carrying both admiration and disbelief. Using our own technology against us, no, adapting it into something new entirely. Humanity's greatest strength isn't our technology, Alex explained, watching as the network came online. It's our ability to take ideas and transform them into something unexpected. Maya, activate the resonance cascade. The effect was immediate and stunning. The quantum web didn't try to stop the regulator suppression field, it absorbed it, channeled it, and repurposed its energy. Every piece of adapted technology humans had deployed became part of a larger pattern, one that even the regulators couldn't have predicted. Impossible, one of the regulator leaders manifested before them, their form shifting between states of outrage and disbelief. Your species cannot possess this level of quantum manipulation. We don't, Alex replied calmly. What we possess is the ability to take different pieces and create something new. Every encounter with your kind, every piece of technology we adapted, every tactic we developed, they're all part of a larger pattern. One you couldn't see because you were looking for the wrong thing. The quantum web continued to expand, not just defending against the regulator's attack but actively reshaping the battlefield. Human ingenuity had taken alien quantum technology and transformed it into something unprecedented, a bridge between conventional physics and quantum reality. Winter's form pulsed with what could only be described as joy. This is why my faction has argued for humanity's inclusion. You don't just adapt, you transform. You take the impossible and make it not just possible, but inevitable. The regulator leaders' form stabilized, their appearance now more contemplative than hostile. The stellar confluence will need to re-evaluate its position on emerging civilizations. This level of innovation, it cannot be ignored. Alex kept their weapon ready, years of experience warning against premature celebration. Let's be clear about what happens next. Humanity isn't asking for permission to join galactic society. We're demonstrating why attempting to prevent our development is futile. And dangerous, Maya added, her screen showing how the quantum web had spread to cover most of the planet. The next time you try to suppress our development, the response won't be so gentle. The regulator's form shifted through several states before settling into something that conveyed resignation. You understand that knowledge of our existence will change your civilization forever? Change is what we do best, Alex replied. The question is whether the stellar confluence is ready for how humanity will change them. Winter moved to stand beside Alex, their forms creating interesting quantum interactions through the enhanced suit. The age of isolation is over. Humanity has proven themselves ready not just for contact, but for partnership. As the quantum distortions began to fade from the sky, Alex thought about the journey that had brought them to this moment. What had started as a simple security contract had evolved into humanity's first step onto a much larger stage. Maya, Alex called, begin documentation protocols. The world is about to change, and someone needs to explain how a private security firm ended up negotiating humanity's entry into galactic society. And perhaps, Winter added, their forms slowly shifting back to their human disguise, how humanity's unique approach to problem-solving might help heal some very old divisions in the cosmos. The night sky cleared, now holding both terrors and possibilities that humanity had never imagined. But as Alex looked up at the stars, they felt not fear but anticipation. The galaxy was about to learn why underestimating human creativity was its own form of quantum uncertainty. The choice. 3 months after the quantum confrontation that changed Earth's destiny, Alex stood in a hidden chamber beneath the Nova Corp facility, watching as representatives from 17 private security firms worldwide gathered for an unprecedented meeting. The room hummed with adapted quantum technology, a blend of alien science and human innovation that symbolized their new reality. The stellar confluence has made their final offer, Maya announced, projecting a holographic document that shimmered with quantum encryption. They want us to serve as humanity's representatives during the transition period. Alex studied the faces around the room, men and women who had faced the impossible and adapted, who had taken alien technology and transformed it into something uniquely human. Each of them had their own encounter with the extraordinary, and each had chosen to protect humanity's interests from the shadows. "They're afraid," Winter observed from their position near the quantum interface. Their human disguise was gone now, their true form a testament to how much had changed. Not of your weapons or technology, but of your potential. Of what humanity might become. "That's precisely why this decision matters," Alex replied, activating the secure quantum channel that connected their global network. "We've been offered official recognition, resources, and authority to manage Earth's integration into galactic society. But accepting means becoming part of their system." The room fell silent as the implications sank in. They had succeeded in defending Earth because they operated unconventionally, adapting and innovating without the constraints of official oversight. Becoming humanity's official representatives to the galaxy would change that forever. "Show them," Maya said quietly. "Show them what we found." Alex nodded, accessing the quantum archives they'd compiled since the confrontation. In the past 3 months, humanity hasn't just been adapting alien technology, we've been transforming it. Our quantum web has evolved into something the confluence hasn't seen in millennia of galactic civilization. The holographic display shifted, showing how human creativity had taken quantum principles and developed them in entirely new directions. Where alien technology sought to manipulate existing quantum states, human innovation had found ways to create new ones. "We're not just potential members of galactic society," Alex continued, watching understanding dawn across their colleagues' faces. "We're catalysts for change. The regulators tried to suppress us because they recognized what the confluence is only now beginning to understand: humanity doesn't just adapt to the universe, we challenge it to adapt to us." Winter's form pulsed with agreement. "Your species takes established principles and refuses to accept their limitations. You see barriers as challenges, impossibilities as opportunities. This is why the confluence needs you, and why they fear you." "Which brings us to our choice," Maya interjected, bringing up new data streams. "Accept their offer and help guide humanity's official entry into galactic society, or maintain our independence," Alex finished, "and continue developing on our own terms. Keep operating in the shadows, protecting Earth's interests while we evolve at our own pace." The quantum interface flickered as signals from security teams worldwide began registering their opinions. They had all seen firsthand both the wonders and dangers the cosmos held. Each had their own perspective on humanity's best path forward. "There is a third option," Winter suggested, their form shifting through spectrums of possibility. "One that perhaps only humanity would consider." Alex smiled, already knowing where this was going. "We do both. Officially accept the confluence's offer while maintaining our independent network. Not to deceive, but to demonstrate another uniquely human trait, the ability to exist in multiple states simultaneously." Quantum diplomacy, Maya laughed, appreciating the irony. Operating as both official representatives and independent agents. The regulators would never expect it because it defies their binary thinking. The room erupted in discussion as the implications became clear. They could help guide humanity's official integration into galactic society while maintaining the very qualities that made human innovation unique, their adaptability, creativity, and willingness to challenge established limits. It won't be easy, Winter warned, though their tone suggested admiration rather than concern. You'll be walking a quantum line between worlds. That's what humans do best, Alex replied, watching as the vote tallies began trending toward this unprecedented third option. We find ways to exist between states, to be both particle and wave, official and independent, part of the system and beyond it. The final votes came in, showing overwhelming support for this uniquely human solution. Alex stepped up to the quantum interface, ready to transmit their response to the stellar confluence. This is why I chose your firm, Winter said softly. Not just for your ability to adapt, but for your capacity to imagine possibilities that even beings who have lived for millennia couldn't conceive. Alex activated the quantum transmission, sending a message that would reshape both human and alien societies. The greatest security doesn't come from walls or weapons, but from understanding how to bridge seemingly impossible gaps. Humanity is ready to help the galaxy learn that lesson. As the quantum acknowledgement from the stellar confluence arrived, Alex looked around at their colleagues, Earth's first line of defense and now its bridge to the stars. They had chosen a path that only humans would consider, one that embraced paradox and possibility in equal measure. The future that awaited would be neither what the regulators feared nor what the confluence expected. It would be something uniquely human, adaptive, innovative, and wonderfully impossible to predict. And that, perhaps, was the greatest security of all.